Mr. President, Mr. Speaker, members of the Board of Public Works, justices of the Supreme Court of Appeals, members of the legislature, Senator Rockefeller, Congressman Mollahan, distinguished guests, and my fellow West Virginians. Before we begin the important work of the state, we must remember the thousands of men and women from West Virginia in uniform. They are deployed tonight across the world in freedom's cause. On behalf of every citizen, I thank these men and women who have placed themselves in harm's way, protecting the United States. Several of those soldiers are with us tonight. Let us recognize a soldier who has made a great sacrifice, who went to do her duty, and in so doing captured the world's attention and showed everyone what West Virginians are made of. I present to you former Private First Class Jessica Lynch of Palestine, Worth County. Two other soldiers with us tonight also represent the thousands of men and women West Virginians on our armed forces. They are Staff Sergeant Marlon Leftwich with the West Virginia Air National Guard, who served in Iraq. And Sergeant First Class Benjamin Gentry III of the Army National Guard, who served in Iraq and Afghanistan. These are our heroes, and there are thousands more like them in uniform tonight. I ask you to join me in honoring our soldiers like Marlon, Benjamin, and Jessica by submitting this year to the voters a constitutional amendment to provide each member of the military a cash bonus who has served or is serving as a result of conflicts in Iraq, Kosovo, and Afghanistan. Our state has done the same in past wars. We must do the same in this one. Nor can we forget the veterans of World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. In October, I'm pleased to report to you, we broke ground on a state-of-the-art nursing home facility, the first of its kind in the state for West Virginia veterans. as we remember, let us also remember those several dedicated public servants that we have lost in the recent months. From this chamber, Delegate A. James Manchin, who brought humor, heart, and hope with him everywhere he went. From our administration, Tom Keeley, a longtime state and community leader who worked every day to create positive changes. And someone equally beloved by all of us, whose funeral was today, the Senate Sergeant at Arms, Tony DeRamo. Please join me in a moment of silence as we remember them. Thank you. Every West Virginian knows these are difficult times. People are working harder and longer to make ends meet. Jobs are precious. There is less money available for things we want, and we have to dig deeper for things we have to have. State government is not immune from the national economy. Across the country, states have been in fiscal crisis. Many have reduced important education programs. In 21 states, public employees have been subject to furloughs, layoffs, and early retirements. In West Virginia, we have avoided financial disaster. We took a hard look at each year's spending and made difficult choices early. Since 2001, we have reduced spending time and time again, taking hundreds of millions of dollars out of state budgets. We are showing that taking on tough issues pays off. We have seen the results, and that is why we can never go back to the status quo. But this is the hardest year yet. We face a gap of $120 million between what we expect to collect and what we're projected to spend. Several months ago, I asked each state agency, with no exceptions, to prepare a budget for the next year with a 9% budget cut. West Virginia state employees have been at the forefront of our savings efforts. Our suggestion box website has been filled with helpful ideas, like that of Andrew Jensen from Workers' Compensation. His office is saving taxpayers $40,000 in postage annually and providing our customers better service. Andrew, please stand and be recognized for your contribution and all those of public employees. Thanks to his work and that of thousands across state government, we will not have to make across-the-board cuts in every program. This year, we will have a budget of $3.2 billion, a figure almost exactly the same as last year's. But we can't use yesterday's priorities to allocate future spending. We are balancing our budget mostly by reducing costs. More than two-thirds of the shortfall has been wiped out by targeted spending cuts, only one-third by revenue enhancements. And this budget does not propose any disruptive action like pay cuts, layoffs, or furloughs. As we did last year, we will again exempt state troopers and corrections. And like last year and the year before, I have exempted senior citizen programs from cuts. Those who built this state, who educated us, who fought our wars, and who brought us to this place should not have to worry about budget cuts as they make their way. Our school budget increases by $39 million, but we must demand sacrifice from the school bureaucracy. We have protected children's health and our scholarship programs. As I speak, my office has emailed to the House and Senate a budget that is balanced, that is reasonable, and that prepares us well for the future. With this budget, you can not only reduce spending, but you will also invest in health care, in jobs, and in education. In the past 3 years, we have made major strides in improving the health of all West Virginians. We kept our doctors in West Virginia. We pioneered a drug discount card for senior citizens. We won the Patient's Bill of Rights. We revamped our trauma system. We returned an additional $32 million to public schools this year through Medicaid. We built the first ever multi-state prescription drug purchasing pool. And we guaranteed coverage for uninsured women with breast or cervical cancer. In West Virginia, we take care of our children. And that's why we've gone to schools, to swimming pools, to neighborhoods, to find the uninsured children and sign them up for the Children's Health Insurance Program. Today, more than 94% of our kids are covered by health insurance. And as an aside, Senator Rockefeller, you are the creator of the CHIP program, and I'm convinced that one day it will be written in the same history book as Social Security and Medicare for what it's doing for our people. Thank you, sir. We are now the model for other states' CHIP outreach programs. And because of our success, this year we have been awarded nearly $19 million extra federal dollars for the CHIP program. A diagnosis of cancer is one of the greatest fears any person or family faces. I want to welcome a cancer survivor who is with us tonight. David Zimmerman is one of thousands of West Virginians who understand what fighting cancer really means. In 2000, he was diagnosed with colon cancer. After more than 2 years of treatment, he remains cancer-free. But he's converted his illness into action. And I would ask David to stand to be recognized for all you do with the American Cancer Society and to protect all of us. We have much more to do to fight cancer in West Virginia. We're one of 2 states that are full partners with Sea Change, an organization that brings together researchers, providers, patients, and national leaders to conquer cancer. Former President George Bush is the chair of this group. And with us tonight, very active in Sea Change, is nationally renowned cancer specialist Dr. Marty Murphy, editor of The Oncologist, the world's greatest cancer periodical. We are announcing tonight that he and I will host a national meeting of Sea Change's Business Roundtable this year in West Virginia, where CEOs of some of the nation's largest companies will come together to finalize a gold standard for cancer care. It will be in West Virginia. Helping citizens and businesses obtain health insurance has been a priority of this administration. Small businesses and others are increasingly unable to find affordable coverage. Tens of thousands of hard-working West Virginians are just one illness away from bankruptcy. We now lead the nation in covering our children. Unfortunately, we are among the last in the nation for insuring adults. Within 5 years, our goal and commitment must be to reduce the number of working uninsured by 50%. And tonight, in furtherance of that, I am announcing a partnership that has been completed this week between providers, private sector insurers, and government for a small business insurance program for those who are uninsured. I'm seeking legislation to authorize PEIA to coordinate this partnership. And incidentally, we provide this insurance with no additional cost to the state of West Virginia. Put this into effect and we will make health history. in our state. There are other things we need to be doing. In 31 other states, people who cannot obtain health coverage because of a pre-existing medical condition can join a high-risk pool. Tonight, I am submitting a bill to make this happen in West Virginia as well. Tobacco use remains the greatest threat to the health of West Virginians. Last year, we passed the first cigarette tax increase in 25 years. It was one of the most important health measures passed in a generation. We've seen that tough action can get results, but more must be done. This year, I'm asking you to add another 1 cent per cigarette, just a penny, and also move the smokeless tobacco tax to 20%. These modest increases will continue to discourage smoking and raise $30 million vitally needed to fund the Medicaid program. It will also permit $6.5 million more, or doubling our program, to help smokers quit and teach young people never to start. Now, I know what's going around, and some people say they don't want to pass another cigarette tax this year. But there's another price to pay if we don't take this action. Failure to pass this means that our Medicaid program must be cut at least 10%. That means cutting senior citizen programs. That means cutting prescription drugs. That means cutting nursing homes. That means cutting children's health care. That means cutting other critical health programs. I ask you, don't let this happen. It is finally time, and I believe it's come. It is finally time to lower the legal limit for drunk driving to 0.08%, a standard proven to save lives. We cannot afford to lose more lives on our roadways, nor the $10 million in federal highway funds we will lose if this bill is not passed. West Virginia is one of only 5 states without this law. Act now, and we can still regain the $2.6 million we lost last year. A leader in the fight against drunk driving in West Virginia is with us tonight. Mark Cheeseman and his wife Barbara came to this issue through tragedy. The loss of their son, Steve, in 2002. He was killed by a drunk driver. Mark now leads Berkeley County Mothers Against Drunk Driving. They're going to be in the Capitol this session, working with other parents to remind us of the importance of this legislation. Mark, I would ask you to stand so we can recognize you for taking your anguish and converting it into action. There is another subject causing anguish across the Mountain State. All-terrain vehicles are vital tools for rural landowners. They can provide an exciting ride through scenic parts of our state. But because of the lack of safety measures, the number of ATV fatalities in West Virginia continues to climb. Last year, 27 people were killed, including 8 children. At the very least, ATV riders under the age of 18 must wear a helmet. Single-seat vehicles must have only one occupant. And all riders under the age of 16 must take a state-approved safety training course. In just the first few days of this year, 2004, another child has been killed on an ATV. I ask you, pass this bill so you know that you have done everything you can to keep our children safe. One of the most difficult challenges we have faced in the past 3 years has been in building West Virginia's economy during a national and international downturn. There's a profound difference between this economic slowdown and the ones we've experienced in previous decades. Our economy is more diversified, our people are better educated, and our efforts at economic development are working better. Make no mistake, the national slowdown has cost West Virginians thousands of jobs. But we've weathered the past 3 years better than many states. During this time, working with new and existing companies, we created almost 11,000 new jobs. With the assistance of Senator Robert C. Byrd and our congressional delegation, we have helped endangered companies retain 5,500 existing jobs, including many of the state's highest-paying manufacturing jobs in the steel industry. And while we're talking about steel, let me say directly to my friends in the steel industry, we're not going to stop, we're never going to stop fighting for your jobs. Tonight, I am pleased to announce that the largest job creation package in West Virginia history is now a reality. Just a few hours ago in New York, the Economic Development Grant Committee's work was realized. Here is the document that makes that happen with New York signatures intact. More than $235 million in grants will now be released. This money, combined with more than $500 million in private investment, will be flowing into communities all across our state. And the 47 projects that have been on hold, and you have been patient, that have been on hold for 1.5 years will not wait another day. We get started tomorrow. Working together, you and I, we have put a lot more tools in the job creation toolbox. We've secured $100 million in federal venture capital funds. We provided West Virginia's first tax increment financing. We've changed our tax incentives. We've established the Sunny Day Fund. We've offered companies 100% tax credits for research and development. And if you've got a book about West Virginia that's more than 2 years old, throw it out, it's obsolete. We've also reformed the bankrupt workers' compensation system. And today, injured workers will get their checks, and we're controlling costs to make West Virginia more attractive to business. So let me be clear. We are now able to create jobs in this state that could not have been created 3 years ago. The legislation that you and I worked on is making a difference. Companies like American Woodmark in Hardy County, PWP Industries in Wood County, Butterfly.net in Berkeley County, Compro Systems in Kanawha County, and 3Wide in Monongalia County are investing and creating jobs every day. We're ready to step forward as the recession ends and investment and jobs begin to pick up around the country. But there's still several things we need to do. We must continue the progress we've made with the Vision Shared initiatives. Vision Shared, that massive undertaking that brings together business and labor and government to find real solutions to our economic problems. There are 3 Vision Shared proposals this year: an improved research and development tax credit, better access to borrowing for companies with innovative ideas, and elimination of the Civil War-era paperwork requirements on corporations. We've tried it for 140 years. It doesn't work. We must also address the problem of West Virginia's baby boom generation. Those workers aged 50 to 64, facing special challenges when they find themselves without a job, without health care, and without a pension. We're going to help our older workers get back on their feet. They have mortgages to pay. They have kids to put through college. They have health care needs. We're going to tap the skills of this generation to meet the real needs of West Virginia in the 21st century and provide accelerated retraining to move them into careers where we have shortages, including nursing, technology, and aviation. There are thousands of West Virginians who suddenly find themselves, after 30, 35 years of work, without the security that they've been working for. We're now preparing a report for you to be a blueprint for assisting this important part of our population. I also am presenting you a bill to allow public-private partnerships in financing transportation and infrastructure projects that are needed across the state. This will allow the greatest flexibility in developing the infrastructure needed to attract jobs and industry. And included in this budget are 2 measures that will increase state revenues without imposing new taxes. We must collect unpaid taxes, because each dollar we don't collect is a dollar other taxpayers have to make up. I am proposing a one-time 60-day tax amnesty period. If unpaid taxes are paid or submitted during this period, all penalties will be waived, and the taxpayer will be charged only half the amount of interest owed. The $6 to $10 million we'll collect will be used to pay for repairs to this building, the state capitol. This is truly the people's house. It must be maintained. It is also one of our most treasured tourist attractions. Additionally, we are also going to join several other states that are breaking from the federal government by continuing to collect the tax on estates that are worth more than $1 million. Andrea Ramazan Jackson, a student at the West Virginia University College of Law, made this suggestion, and it's a good one. It will affect only the top 1% of all estates, and incidentally, they're paying it already. It will keep us from having to put $60 million in additional taxes on working families over the next 5 years. Every West Virginian should have the opportunity to participate in jobs, in education, and in community life. For the past several years, our state disabilities liaison, Penny Hall, has been working every day to ensure access for all West Virginians. Penny, thank you for what you are doing, but we want to strengthen your efforts. Tonight, to continue our commitment to the Americans with Disabilities Act, I am proposing legislation to create a permanent position in state government for an ADA coordinator. We continue our commitment to worker safety, and despite the budget shortfall, we will not cut funding that could help save lives in our coal mines. We will continue efforts to strengthen our State Office of Miners' Health, Safety, and Training to investigate accidents and enforce safety regulation. We will not step back from this area. We owe it. We owe it to the thousands of mine workers who have died in the past century and the far too many who died in the past year. The past 3 years have seen great gains made in education. We're doing more than ever before to give our children a quality education. Just a few days ago, Education Week magazine ranked West Virginia as one of the top performers in the country for accountability and standards for our schools, for our teacher quality, and our school safety. Earlier today, I was privileged, along with other state leaders, to meet with Melinda Gates of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. She was here to award West Virginia libraries a grant to assist with technology access. In 1997, only half of our libraries had internet access. Today, all of them give citizens access to the internet. We look forward to working with Mrs. Gates and the Gates Foundation in the future. There are other gains we're making as well. Our students are in school, a real 180 days in school. Safe Schools Helpline is now staffed 24 hours a day. This administration has improved teacher salaries despite the ongoing budget crisis. We've awarded our veteran teachers by lifting the cap on increment pay for teachers with more than 29 years of service. I'd like for you to meet one of West Virginia's finest teachers. He's a role model for our students. He's a computer science teacher from John Marshall High School. He believes teaching is the greatest job in the world. He said that when you see a student teaching another student something that you taught them, you realize the ripple effect your lessons will have and the number of people you can reach. On behalf of the entire state and all parents, I want to thank our West Virginia Teacher of the Year for what he is doing every day. And once again, the Toyota Motor Corporation, with the help of David Copenhaver, is presenting our Teacher of the Year a new Toyota Sienna. And yes, both the engine and transmission were made just 30 minutes away in Putnam County by West Virginia workers. And while I have you up, while you're on your feet, let me also recognize, presenting on behalf of Blue Cross and Blue Shield, Fred Early, who will present our teacher with a $5,000 check. Ladies and gentlemen, I present the West Virginia Teacher of the Year, David Soltesz of Beach Bottom, West Virginia. David. Teachers like David are the key to West Virginia's future, and we must make it easier for them to do their jobs. We must recognize them for outstanding performance. We must protect their safety. And therefore, I am asking this legislature to pass the Teacher Empowerment Act. It will reduce the paperwork required of teachers, counselors, school service personnel, and administrators. We will create a statewide system of tracking dangerous students so they can't simply enroll in another school after they have been expelled. And teachers who achieve the much coveted national certification will now receive a bonus of $3,500, a $1,000 increase. We will be awarding, incidentally, this bonus to a record number of teachers this year, 151 of them nationally board certified, 6 times as many as there were 4 years ago. The state of West Virginia has reached out to parents in the past 2 years by offering a break on sales tax on back-to-school purchases. Last year, these parents saved close to $2 million. Once again, I'm asking the legislature to approve a sales tax holiday for one of the most expensive times of the year. We've also, in education, doubled the amount of funding that goes every year to build more 21st century schools. But as we build new schools, we must preserve rural and small-town schools and sustain the contributions they make to their communities. We also must ensure that every student receives a high-quality education. I'm introducing a bill making school construction funds more accessible to small schools and rural districts. Additional legislation I am introducing will also set new, lower limits on the time that students must travel on buses going to and from school. You and I all know that no elementary student should ride a bus more than 30 minutes one way to school. We must continue to invest in higher education. This year, amidst tough times, I worked with our college and university presidents in developing this year's budget. With a combination of one-time payments and reallocations, we were able to find the resources to fund ongoing programs. Instead of having a 9% cut, we're asking higher education this year to absorb only a 2.5% cut. We are also going to support the higher education bond issue to create the classrooms and other facilities needed for the next generation of students. Our higher education institutions are great reservoirs of talent. They know how to get things done, but they are often bound by outdated regulations and restrictions. If we expect them to do more with less, and we do, we must cut some of these chains that bind them. I am introducing legislation to give colleges and universities the freedom to find their own solutions to problems. Higher education institutions will not look and cannot look the same in 5 years. But we're going to judge them on their success, not on how well they follow bureaucratic guidelines. Our state colleges are changing too in their effort to better serve West Virginia students. The Higher Education Policy Commission has determined that West Virginia State, Concord, Fairmont State, and Shepherd qualify to be state universities. As part of my legislative package, I am requesting that you officially recognize these institutions' achievements by bestowing university status on them. They have earned it. In the past 3 years, our state's universities have vastly expanded their capabilities to do research. Because of their new strength, they have received hundreds of millions of dollars in federal research funding, in biometrics, in cancer research, in energy research, where West Virginia is leading the way. In neurosciences, with the help of Senator Rockefeller, we soon will be the world leader in developing new strategies and treatments for memory disorders. But that is not enough. We must create a landmark research program to allow West Virginia to compete for jobs for industries in the future. Our universities need a steady, dependable stream of research funds, and it needs to be more than 1 year at a time. Ask Congressman Mollahan, who has done so much with the High-Tech Consortium, about the importance of cutting-edge research and what it means for our state. Tonight, I am urging you to establish such a fund. We will start with an additional $10 million. We will expand the Research Challenge Grant Program. We will hire top-quality faculty and researchers. We will purchase cutting-edge equipment and create research opportunities for our students. We will support research that is directly tied to West Virginia's economic growth. And at least 25% of it will be earmarked for energy research. I also am proposing legislation to create a distinguished graduate student fellowship program to keep more of our outstanding graduates in state and attract more graduate students from other states. We have steadily increased our investment in student financial aid for post-secondary education. This budget continues that commitment. In 2001, our state awarded $16.5 million in financial aid. By next year, that total will climb to $50 million. The Promise Scholarship has been a major part of this investment, but we also have made substantial increases to the Higher Education Grant Program and the Higher Education Adult Part-Time Student Program. Working together, these programs represent a combination of financial aid strategies with one common goal: to increase access to college for all West Virginians. I ask you to join me in greeting two Promise Scholars who are in the chamber tonight, who represent the 6,300 students in college thanks to the Promise Scholarship and their hard work, their good grades, and positive attitude. I first introduce to you Amber Bishop from Fayette County, a student at West Virginia University, and Corey Eisner from Jackson County, a student at the University of Charleston. They are making a difference. Amber and Corey, please stand to be recognized. Additionally, Corey's mother, Bea Eisner, is a guidance counselor in Jackson County. She's seen the changes that Promise has made in high school, in her school, and in Corey's classmates. More than 90% of those who earned a Promise Scholarship have accepted it and entered a West Virginia college. And for the first time in a long time, the number of students going out of state has declined, and our state colleges and universities have record high enrollments. One of the guiding principles of this administration is that energy and economic development are not the enemies of the environment. We can have all of it. I have made environmental protection a priority. We are adding thousands of acres of recreational land for hunters, fishermen, hikers, and bikers to enjoy, including Blackwater Falls State Park, Cheat Canyon, Snake Hill, and Nathaniel Mountain Wildlife Management areas. We've reclaimed almost 10,000 acres of abandoned mine sites. We've restored nearly 300 miles of acid-damaged streams to support native trout fisheries. We've worked with the industry and found ways to expedite the permit process for mining without relaxing environmental protections. And we must not lower our expectations of the coal industry. We can mine coal cleanly without harming our water and land. However, West Virginia's stronger protections should not be lowered to the minimum federal standard. We will set our own standards in West Virginia. And we're not done yet. In the past, we've recognized coal, gas, and timber as a valuable natural resource. Now, we must also count West Virginia's clear, pure water as equally precious. Currently, West Virginia does not have the tools or information to properly manage its water resources. Tonight, I'm introducing legislation to establish a water usage program to give us the information on our supply of clean water and on the industries that use it. We also must continue to protect the quality of water in our streams and rivers to preserve them for future generations. We must reject any attempt to weaken our water quality rules. There are lots of issues to take on in an energy-producing state. We value our energy. We value our natural resources. We value the jobs they create. At the same time, we can no longer bury our head in the sand on the issue of greenhouse gases. To protect the vitality of West Virginia's energy-based economy, we must continue to take a leadership role on climate change issues. We are taking the first step to understand the effects of greenhouse gases by introducing legislation to require facilities to register their emissions of greenhouse gases. This is soon going to be required by the federal government. West Virginia needs to be a leader and act now. We also are going to reward industries that do more than the law requires to keep our air and our water clean. Tourism continues to contribute more each year to jobs and economic development. I propose to strengthen the bond between tourism promotion and economic development promotions. We will continue our successful efforts to attract tourists from across the country and around the world to West Virginia, and we'll do more. I'm seeking authorization to reorganize the Tourism Promotion Fund to target customers who not only vacation here, but also will do business here. I'm also introducing the West Virginia Tourism Development Act, expanding the successful tax increment financing program to promote the development of destination resorts and other world-class tourist facilities. And West Virginia has just scored another hole-in-one. With us tonight is Tim Benton of the PGA Tour, who is bringing a national golf tournament to the beautiful Pete Dye course this year. We all have come to understand the increased need for protection in every community, whether it's from crime, from terrorism, or fraud. In the past year, we have increased the number of state troopers by 16%, the largest increase in any single year in the history of the West Virginia State Police. Two cadet classes graduated in July and are completing their field probationary period. Another class is in training and scheduled to join the force in April. I have directed another class to begin this month. Retirements, military call-ups, and the loss of troopers to higher-paying jurisdictions are putting a strain on all of our law enforcement agencies. Tonight, I am introducing legislation to reduce the retirement age of state troopers in Plan B pension fund from 55 to 50. We have some of the best law enforcement officers in the country. We need to keep them here. I want to report to you that our Emergency Operations Center was activated 7 times, either for disaster or because of a threat to Homeland Security. And it has managed $94 million in federal and state recovery funds. We've established 6 regional response teams and created an emergency supply warehouse stocked with essential supplies and ready for immediate distribution. And working together, you and I, we put an end to the illegal video poker business in convenience stores and gas stations. And at the same time, we provided a means to fund hundreds of millions of dollars in infrastructure and new school construction, and we are sending thousands of high school students to college. But in the past year, our roadways and communities have been bombarded by gambling signs. By executive order, I have removed those signs. But tonight, I am introducing legislation to make it clear those signs are never going back up. The rising costs of home and auto insurance have an impact on all West Virginians. Insurance fraud is a key factor in rising costs. West Virginia is one of only 10 states without an insurance fraud bureau. I am asking you to give us the authority to catch those who cheat the system and pass along the cost to us. It's time to protect our citizens and give them a fraud bureau in the Insurance Commission. It's also time to protect our citizens from identity theft and other privacy violations. I am presenting legislation forbidding state agencies from selling or giving away your home telephone number, your address, and most importantly, your Social Security number. It stays here. Our focus, rightly, is on the immediate future. But we have 2 important measures on our agenda that will have an impact on future years. Local government in West Virginia is organized pretty much the way it was founded in 1863. By executive order, I am establishing a commission to explore what local government should look like in this century. We shouldn't assume that government that met our needs in the 19th century still meets all of our needs in the 21st. We also need to take a bold step, on long-term debt. Over the past decades, West Virginia has pushed some of its financial obligations onto future generations by creating substantial unfunded liabilities in 3 of our pension funds. It's time to stop. Thanks to the Attorney General's work in the National Tobacco Settlement, our state receives funds each year from the tobacco industry. However, we are seeing a steady decline in the amount that's coming in each year. We depend on it heavily, and yet it is one court decision away from drying up completely. I am asking that we take the opportunity to secure this money in a lump sum, to place $137 million of it, which will more than double the medical trust fund. We will use $348 million to wipe out the unfunded liability within the Trooper A pension fund. We will use $45 million to eliminate the unfunded liability in the judges' retirement system. And we will use $90 million to make a significant contribution to reducing the unfunded liability in workers' compensation. Think of it. In just one act, we remove 2 of our 3 major unfunded pension liabilities, we double the amount in the medical trust fund, and we make another major contribution to solving the workers' comp problem. That's what I'm asking you to do. Budgets and laws are not just words on paper. They're about people. They are about Mark Cheeseman, who lost his son to a drunk driver, and about Corey Eisner, with dreams of pursuing a career in business or law, and Amber Bishop, who wants to be a doctor. They're about David Zimmerman, enjoying life after cancer. And they're about Jessica Lynch, a future kindergarten teacher. So that we serve these faces well, each of them. I started 3 years ago a tradition to submit all my legislation on the first night of the session. Tonight, I continue this tradition. I don't have a CD this time. I don't have any of that. Simply all my bills, as I've spoken, have been transmitted to you again by email. We can begin work tomorrow. But as we begin work tomorrow, I want to speak for a second about tonight. Tonight, to the people of West Virginia, I want to say thank you for allowing me to serve as your governor. It has been the highest honor and privilege. For the past 3 years, I have committed myself and my administration to improving the lives of every West Virginian. In the next year, I pledge to work every day to continue to provide affordable health care, to protect and increase the number of good-paying jobs, and to provide every child the opportunity to get a good quality education. During the past 3 years, this 134 members of this legislature and I, we have taken on many tough issues together. They haven't been easy, but we took them on. Already, our state is better because of it. This year, we can take on more tough issues. I know the popular saying, take it easy. It's an election year. But neither you nor I want this, and the public demands more action. We've seen what working hard can do, and we like it. Some say, let's have business as usual. I say, the usual business has changed. We act now based on the next generation, not on the next election. We set a new standard, and we're never going back. This will be a year of action. I ask for your help. And as I ask for your help, I ask for God's help and blessing on this legislature, on its work, and on the people of the state of West Virginia. Thank you very, very much.